Greetings once again, my friends and my fellow modelers. In this particular video, my fellow Titanic lovers, my fellow Titaniacs, it's time for another video for the 1/200 scale AGORA build the R.M.S. Titanic. And I'm delighted to introduce to you the latest shipment. I was very happy when the mailman came and gave me this. And guys, this has some weight to it, so I'm pretty excited. I'm thinking that we're going to be building out the hull and do some more hull work. So of course, without further ado, let's go over to the desk and I'm going to show you everything that's in the shipment. Alright, AGORA Models. We got the paper. Let's get right into it. Alright. This one is number 68. And we've got number 67. Let's see. 65. 64. 63. And finally we've got 66. And we've got issues number 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, and lastly, number 68. Love it. All right, that's everything that's in the box. All right, let's go over the magazines. This is the Titanic, the ship, the legend, and this is number 63. So we open it up. We've got the Giant of the Sea. Then we've got the instructions. And we've got a piece of the hull that's coming in issue number 64. Another section of the hull, cross strut and screws. So moving over to the next page, you can see this absolutely beautiful lady. Let me introduce you. The many lives of the SS Germanic. Germanic was, like Titanic, built at Harland and Wolff in Belfast. The ship had a long and colorful life. Unfortunately, Titanic did not. The White Star Line's transatlantic liner Germanic, built at Harland and Wolff shipyards in Belfast, was the sister ship of the Britannic. Now remember, Britannic, the name, it's not the one you're thinking of, not the Olympic class Britannic. But look how beautiful she is. I love the masts. I love these ships. And we got a nice illustration of the ship. The Germanic, depicted in an engraving taken from volume 7 of the Popular Science Monthly from 1877, a scientific and technological publication first published in 1872. Nice. Moving over, the Germanic, now under Turkish ownership and renamed the Gülsmal, moored at the port of Istanbul, and I hope you can see her in the background. All right, and we get right into it now. Looks like we have the foil for the light blocking and the light reflection. We got another piece of the hull, and we have some other different little pieces. Looks like a couple of lifeboat covers. All right, let's get right into it. We're going to put the piece of the hull in. You can see we're going to put the bracket, and we're going to put the piece of the hull in. It's going to be held in place with the IM screws. And then we're going to move over, and we're going to use the foil, the stickers, and we're going to put them into the one of the deck houses. I think, is this one that we must have already done that because it has the windows in. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the this seems to be one of the easier ones to put the stickers on, because the other ones had a lot of little corners and walls, and so this one should be relatively simple. And you can see I'm putting the deck house in place. Let's see, are we going to screw it down? Yep, we're going to use 4 AP screws. And from the underneath, you can see how we're going to do that. So this is the big section that we've been working on. The last thing we did the davits. And you can see the smoke stack. Take the third funnel from the issue 53, carefully positioned so that you can access the inside of the base. Apply sticker 13 is shown, so we're going to put stickers in there as well. And we're going to light block the house before we affix it, I'm sure. You can see all the areas that we're going to put the stickers on, because there's a lot of walls in this one. Complete the lining of the base of the third funnel with the remaining stickers from sheet 63G. Follow the sequence shown above. And we're going to go over, we're going to put these little pads that kind of softens the light so they're not as sharp and bright. And we're going to put that to the roof, and that's going to go right onto the LED strip. And you can see how we're going to affix it. We got to put the wires through. When the wires come through, you can see how we're going to put it to the circuit board, and then we're going to test it. And that's always my favorite part, is testing the lights. And then we'll do, as you can see, we had already put these, I think these are the collapsible lifeboats on. So we're going to take the covers. I'm sorry, they call them the tarpaulins. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And they're going to go on. And you can see what they're going to look like when they're on. And that's the completed work. So the top of the boat deck's getting really, starting to really come together. All right, on to issue number 64. Okay, and we got more of the hull coming in issue number 65. And you can see we got a date with Destiny, the Edwardian era, and step-by-step instructions. The LaRoche family, in a photo taken shortly before their departure on board Titanic. This Haitian-French family were headed back from Europe to the Caribbean when disaster struck. Let's see. I love this picture. The CGT steamship La France, in which the LaRoches were meant to travel. Unfortunately, the decision to change ship turned out to be an ill-fated one. And the SS France. Of course, this is a different SS France than what you may be thinking. Matter of fact, it's funny that this is in this magazine. I'm going to be so happy to show you guys the actual Ideal Toy Corporation, the first 1/450 scale model of the SS France. Now, I have shown you the Ideal kit from the 50s of the SS United States, and I'm ecstatic. I just got it, and I'm going to be looking forward to getting that in the mail, and you guys are going to see that as soon as I get it. Sir Joseph John Thomson, photographed in his laboratory in 1900. In 1906, he was honored with the Nobel Prize for Physics in his study on the atom and the discoveries that followed. Hans Geiger and Ernest Rutherford in a laboratory at McGill University of Montreal, circa 1905. And we're moving on to the instructions. And love it. Look at that beautiful hull. Look at the straking. You can see the little doors, the portholes. You can see we've got more of the stickers of the aluminum foil kind of sticker for the light blocking, as well as reflecting all the light on the inside. And it might have been a good idea to do this before all this went on, but that's just my opinion. Carefully turn the bow superstructure now so you can access the inside and apply sticker 1 inside the rear wall, part 16E. Then apply stickers 2 and 3 as indicated. So this one will be a little more tricky than the last one. And again, we're going to put the that piece of foam kind of like to soften up the light on it. And now position the forward superstructure on the boat deck and pass the cables through, and then from the funnel hole in the deck circled. And let's see, we're going to actually connect everything to the circuit boards, which is fun, and I love it. We're going to test it out, make sure it works, and we're going to put some more light softening on the lights. Remove the last adhesive square 61M from the backing sheet supplied with issue 61. Fit it in place on the LED board so that it covers the cable 53A. Make sure it does not cover the LED. Okay, now position the boat deck and superstructure so that you can fit the screws, making sure that you do not damage any parts. And again, I mean, there's so much on top. It would be nice to do all this before we have to do the things underneath. But you can see we're going to put the grand staircase in. Or we might have already done that. Yeah, we may have already done that. Moving down, you can see the 51K. The piping, A and B, supplied with issue 60. Fit the pipe at the base of the third funnel and the deck house. Fit it in place by applying a little glue to the pegs circled in red, and then glue the pipe on the place of the opposite side. So that would be these. Take the vent that we assembled in issue 60 and glue it to the deck house over the pipe, so that you can see where it's going to go. And now we take the hull and we put another plate onto the hull. Check how the fourth hull section fits in the port side of the hull assembly. A screw hole on the top corner part 64A fits over the screw socket in the top of part 18A. And let's see, and 3 screw sockets along the lower edge of part 64A. Align with screw sockets in part 63B and fix in place with 4 LM screws. And we got to use the Allen key for that. You can see we got a cross support that's going to go in. And we're going to use 4 AM screws on that. And you can see how it's going to look. And we got the completed work. The hull is starting to get larger. Love it. And that was 64. All right, now we're going to go over to issue number 65. And let's take a look. Coming in the next issue, we have more of the hull. Love it. We have Giant of the Sea and the instructions. And we have another beautiful ship. I love it. We got the masts. This one's a little bit smaller. It's got the 3 masts. The Umbria and the Etruria, combining with tradition with modern design. By the mid-1880s, triple expansion engines began to replace the compound engines and auxiliary sails. Umbria and Etruria were one of the cusp of change ships. The SS Etruria, in a photograph from 1890, the interior of the ship and his sister ship Umbria were the epitome of Victorian luxury. First-class common areas were finished with highly decorative furniture and heavy velvet drapes, as well as being stuffed full of items as dictated by the fashion of the time. A prelude to Titanic, her descendant. Oh, look at that. This Cunard Line publicity postcard from 1904. Pilot ship is shown escorting a liner Umbria safely into the port of New York. That's a pretty cool painting. Looks like watercolor. Oh, I love these kind of things. Look at that. The steamship company, the brochure for the Etruria saloon passengers. This is the cover of the brochure containing a list of first-class passengers traveling on board steamship Etruria, and this was from 1880. Man, that was a long time ago. And a steamship Umbria in the port of Liverpool before its departure for New York, and this is in 1902. Beautiful ship. There's a certain charm that the masts bring, at least I think so. Okay, on to the instructions. And you can see the parts in the issue. We have the lower part below the waterline of the hull. We got some screws and a bracket. And let's see, the piping. And then glue them to the base of the third funnel. And joining them to the pipeline is shown. You may find it helpful to hold the pipes in place against the funnel while the glue is drying. So this is where the detail is going to start to really pop out. Take the pipe from issue 63 and glue it to the base of the fourth funnel and to the roof of the first-class smoking room. Take 2 ducts from the same issue, glue them into the base of the fourth funnel as shown. Take the 2 benches from issue 63 and glue them to the rear, the end of the boat deck as shown. These little details are just so much fun with this model. Okay, and it looks like it's the roof that's going to go on the wheelhouse. Look at that, huh? Fit the roof of the wheelhouse and the roof of the bridge, both supplied with issue 43. As shown, we advise you not to use glue so that you can remove the roofs to look at the interior. From issue 43, I really don't remember getting these. Hopefully I've got them. You can see what it's going to look like. Beautiful. And then we're going to take that section of the hull and we're going to put it in place with the LM screws, and we're going to use the Allen wrench. And you can see the bracket. This is going to help support the deck. And that's going to be held in place with AM screws. And look at the completed work. Hull's getting longer. And that was issue number 65. So let's go on to issue number 66. And you can see we got another deck house, the starboard decking, forward decking, port decking, and the forward section of the promenade deck that's coming up in the next issue. We have the 20th century, a date with destiny, life on board, and the instructions. All right, what's this? Of the 2,000 men hired to build the Transcontinental Railroad, over 10,000 were Chinese immigrants. The front page of the San Francisco Call on the 20th November 1911 announces the opening of the Chinese Exclusion Convention, convened in defense of American workers. Again, that was a long time ago. A scene from the 1953 film Titanic, in which a group of third-class passengers are reassured that they are not in any danger. In reality, the dreadful night in April 1912 ended in disaster and tragedy. Let's see, what do we got here? The Quarantine Islands in the Bay of New York. The top, hospital building for migrants on Ellis Island. In the center, we got the Swinburne Island. And at the bottom, we've got the Hoffman Island. Tom Fong holds a photograph of his father, Fang Lang, who was one of 6 Chinese passengers to survive the sinking of Titanic. Can you imagine having a family member on Titanic? I mean, chances are they would have passed, but that'd just be a phenomenal family story. This photograph, taken in the early 20th century, shows a street vendor selling toys in Chinatown in San Francisco. This was America's entry port for the first Chinese immigrants from the province of Guangdong, South China, between 1850 and 1900. The work of the ship's crew is not over once they had reached their destination. After offloading passengers and their luggage, the post and goods they must clean, check, and prepare the ship for the next voyage. The Cunard Line's Etruria docked in the port of Liverpool with a photograph from the early 20th century. Look at that. She's gorgeous. I love that. There's a charm to those masts. I just love that. I'd love to get a model kit of one of these magnificent ships. Okay, on to the instructions, and we're going to put the hull on, the upper hull, starboard. You can see we're going to put the bracket on. And it's the AM screws that are going to hold the bracket in place. And the LM screws with the Allen wrench that's going to hold the section of the hull in place. And that's going to be held in place with the LM screws. So this was a simple issue, and you can see the completed work. Love it. She's getting even longer. And that was 66. Now we're going to go to 67. We got a date with Destiny, the 20th century, and the instructions. And this one, the upcoming issue, should be pretty simple. There's not too much to it. Let's see. The Countess of Roths in a photograph taken in 1907. The coat of arms of Norman Leslie, 19th Earl of Rolls, and the Baron of Leslie at Leslie House in the country of Fife, Scotland. Now let's see, what is this? Following the fashion dictates of the Edwardian era, women's hats became flamboyant. British Red Cross volunteer helps a soldier injured during the Boer War in South Africa. This might look familiar to you guys from James Cameron's movie Titanic from 1997. In this scene from James Cameron's Titanic in 97, the Countess of Roths, played by the actor Rochelle Rose, is in a center between Molly Brown and Rose DeWitt. En route for the first tour of de France, which took place in 1903, and the cafe in Montgeron, just south of Paris. Maurice Francis Garin, winner of the first Tour de France. Alright, on to the instructions. And we got the section of the promenade deck. So this will be a relatively quick build. This section anyway. You can see we're going to put the deck on all the way around. We're going to glue it into place. We've been gluing all of them. Like I said, that was pretty quick. So that's the completed work. Okay, that was 67, and finally we're moving on to issue number 68. We've got Giant of the Sea. I love these. Then we got the instructions. And look at this, the new era. Campania and Lucania, excuse me. Look at that ship. Transatlantic liner Campania anchored in the port of Liverpool. Beautiful. Look at that bridge. That kind of a roundness, just like the way Titanic and the Olympic class ships are. You can see the Cunard line, the painting. R.M.S. Lucania, excuse me, depicted on a postcard from 1905. That's this one. That's a pretty ship. Not as many masts, so it's not as big. The Grand Noir first class dining room on board Lucania. And oh my God, is that magnificent or what? Look at that. That's absolutely gorgeous. What a beautiful room. The lunch menu on board Lucania. First class passengers were offered a wide choice of courses. All right, let's see. What do we got? For lunch, we got chicken broth, beef tea, sheep's head broth, sardines, fagua, pickled oyster. I think I'll pass. This is on April 23rd of 1900 on Monday. We got the roast leg of mutton with the currant jelly, fricassee of tripe. Oh man, this doesn't seem very... Corn brisket of beef and cabbage. I think I'll go with that. We'll go with the corned beef and cabbage. And in the cold section, they got roast beef, and that's always good. Bring me 4 pounds of rare roast beef. And we got cheeses and preserved peaches. And of course, we have to have a coffee. Ooh, chocolate. All right. What do we got here? The Naval Review at Spithead, 26th of June, 1897. In honor of the Diamond Jubilee, the reign of Her Most Gracious Majesty Queen Victoria, Cunard's Royal Mail Steamship, Campania. Nice. Cunard Royal Steamship, Campania. Alright, now we're going to go right to the build. And you can see we have the bracket, and it looks like we have a wall, or a bulkhead. So we're going to have the little tiny little clips, the little brackets. We're going to put them in place with AP screws. And you can see how they're going to be held, and this is going to be able to, we can screw it on to the other piece. See on the bottom? And that's of course going to go on the section we just did, and the other screws are going to be the AP screws holding it to the roof, the bottom. And then we're going to put in the bracket, and that's going to be held in place with the AM screws. We're going to need 4 of those. And again, look at the completed work. I love it. Right, so far she's almost doubling in the size as she is now. And those are the magazines. Those are the issues. And I feel a piece of hull. Love it. Look at that. And this is L8. Look at the straking. Beautiful. Love it. Let's see what else we got. Let's see, we got an envelope. We got a lot of little, the pipes, the steam pipes, and the vents. And we got one little bench that's in there. And we have the covers. I think those are for the collapsible lifeboats. And look at the steam pipe. We've only got 1 bench. I don't know if we were supposed to get 2. Oh, the other one. Here's the other one. It was stuck to the tape. There. Alright, let's try to carefully put all this stuff back in. Alright, we got another one. This one's a little heavier, so this is the bracket that's going to hold the decking on and to the side of the inside of the hull. And then we got a bunch of screws. We got the IM. and the IM have the flanges, the LM, and the difference is that the LM are the Allen wrench, and we have the AM screws. And finally, you can see we have the sheet of the reflective stickers, and we got a large one and we got a small one. You can see where the window is going to be. And that's everything in issue number 63. Alright, now we're moving on to number 64. So let's open this up. Right off the bat, we have more AM screws, and I believe these are the Allen wrench. These are the LM screws. Let's see, we got an envelope. I think this is the bracket. Yep. Let's see the bracket reinforcing the parts of the hull, and we've got, speaking of the hull, look at that. Beautiful. Look at the doors. Welcome aboard. Come on, we can make it. You can see these portholes are actually drilled out where we're going to be able to light it. And that's everything. So that one was pretty short and sweet. Alright, on to number 65. Let's open this one up. You can feel another piece of the hull. Love it. This thing is going to weigh a lot too when it's done. Pretty weighty. I knew we were going to have hull pieces in this shipment because I could tell by the weight on the shipping box. And let's see, this is R6. Look at that. Beautiful. Let's see, we've got AM screws, and these look like the IM or the LM. Yep, these are IM screws with the flange. And there's another one. Yep, we got more LM screws, and this one has the Allen wrench we need to use on it. And we've got the envelope. Let's see what we got in here. I think this is the bracket. Yeah. So this is going to be to hold the decking onto the secondary, excuse me, the hull. And that's everything. All right, now on to number 66. And right off the top, we have the screw packages. These could be IM. I can't tell. These are the LM. We need the Allen screws for these. Allen wrench. And we got the AM screws, and these are for the brackets. Let's see if this is actually another bracket. Yep. It's another bracket, and lastly, we're going to have another section of the hull. Beautiful. Look at that. Again, the portholes are open. Let's see, Titanic going by. Nice. And that's everything. That's in 66. Okay, on to 67. And this is the section of the decking with the look at that. You got to be careful with these because these are very brittle, but you can see that section of the decking. I'll show you the decking first. So we got the three sides. Look at that last section. And they're going to go onto this part right here. And I believe this is the back of the promenade deck. So this is pretty basic. And lastly, we have pack number 68. And let's see, we got a couple of packets of screws. I believe they're these are AP screws. And these are more AM screws. I believe those are for the brackets. And let's see, these could be, yeah, these are the brackets that are going to hold the bulkhead in place. Now let's see, I think this is another brace for the inside. Yep. Let's see. Lastly, we got one more envelope in here. And I think this is the foam to bring down the... oh, nope. This is the bulkhead wall. See the doors? And everything that's in there? Yep. And that was everything in 68. Okay. So that was everything in the shipment. And these were issues number 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, and 68. And the reason I do this video is for the unboxing. I show you absolutely everything that comes in this shipment. The next video we're going to be building. We're going to be putting everything together, and I'm not going to go over what's in it at all. That's what this video is for. So my friends, we're going to be starting that video. Look for it very soon. And until then, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.